Hi. So I just wanted to make a apology video basically because I feel bad for things that have happened and whatnot because things that should have been kept very private and this is a long overdue apology, but um things that should have been kept private weren't kept private, and like things between Kat and I were kept, were broadcasted, and like were broadcasted to where they were depicted in a very bad light. And so a lot of the things that were said and whatnot were not true about Kat, and that they were, you know, they basically that they were not a good person to me or anything like that, and that they were really um all sorts of really bad things were said, and that were not true whatsoever. And so I feel disgusting that any of that even happened, and that because they were a really good person, and they are a good person, but they were a really good person to me, and we had a really good relationship, and things were okay and whatnot. And it's just then right after everything, everything was handled horribly on my end. I didn't handle things really well and handled things like shit. And so like if I could go back in time, things would have been very different, would have handled it appropriately. But things were treated very, very, very wrongly. And they were basically made out to be a really terrible person. And so was a lot of people. Everybody was made out to be really bad. And it was a lot of as if I was a victim or something like that. I was like I as if I wasn't at fault or anything like that, whereas I was very much at fault. You don't lose every single person in your life if you're the good guy, sort of thing. If you lose everybody all at once, then you're the one with the problem, sort of thing. And that's what happened with me, is everything was my fault, and I tried to then switch it around and make them uh the bad person, and that's not true. That's really not. They did the absolute best that they could with what they were given with me and whatnot. They tried their ultimate best with me and stuff, and they did a really, really good job for what they had um to deal with. And so, but then I was way too much to handle, and I was a not good person whatsoever, and not to them, I wasn't a really good person and whatnot. I tried really hard. I tried really hard, but it's one of those of um they ultimately just obviously couldn't handle it and whatnot, and so then private things that should have been kept private were broadcasted, but then were broadcasted in a very negative, false light. Like, weren't broadcasted very truthfully, and were just very much um, were broadcasted to where they were very, as if they were mean, and as if they were the bad guy and the one who had done things that they didn't actually do and stuff. And I feel bad about that. I really feel bad about that and don't like that that happened. And I wish that they knew, that if there had been a way to, stop that stuff from happening on my end, I would have been able to stop it. I would have definitely, none of me wanted that to happen. But that sounds stupid and I'm lying or whatnot. It's just bad things just happen at on from me. I did very bad things by trying to say that they were mean and bad and or that they were doing awful things that they just were not. And that's why the breakup happened, was because we had a toxic relationship or whatever. But truthfully, it was just a I was hurt, and so then it was taken out of, well, I'm hurt, I need them to hurt, sort of thing. And it turned into a lot of lying and a whole lot of just trying to feel better by being basically a bully. And that's not good, and that's not okay, and they didn't at all deserve that. That's not what they deserved, and they deserve to be treated with respect and to have been treated, publicly with respect, and not to broadcast things publicly that should have remained private, and to have them seen the way that I see them, which is that they did their ultimate best for me, and that they did such a uh, like I just they're a good person, and that should have been the only thing publicly broadcasted, was that they're a good person who really did try with me and wanted what was ultimately the best for me, and did the best that they could, even whenever it was really, really difficult for them. They worked a whole lot. They worked a lot at work and stuff to make sure that we could keep a roof over our head and to keep food and stuff like that. Whereas we and we tried really hard to have a good relationship and a happy relationship, and we really did. And then because it ended the way that it did and whatnot, ultimately I fucked up and was really cruel and unusual and said really nasty things and did really nasty things and stuff, and I don't like that, and I wish that none of that had happened. um and it makes me sad that people still will think that, oh, they were a bad person and whatnot, when they're not, and that they are Kat's really not talked to me and doesn't want to talk to me and hates me and stuff, and I don't blame them because of just how like how bad that I treated them and like said the things I did and like treated after everything, and also like harassing and whatnot. There was a lot of harassment done of just not leaving them alone, like not giving them any of their space, and just like constantly wanting to um it kept like switching a lot during the harassment of wanting them to feel bad or wanting them to feel like it was their fault, and then but it was my fault and I want to get back together and I'm so sorry and blah 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 blah. And it just was like non-stop and like really hurt them and like made them feel disrespected and made them feel like, and it was very disrespectful and it wasn't correct, and that's not how things need to be handled and shouldn't have been handled whatsoever. And I'm very sorry about that. I'm very angry that I behaved that way to begin with, and that they got hurt and whatnot because they didn't deserve that and they deserved peace. And like it was like I thought that maybe they like weren't upset about it or whatnot, but it's like they were grieving too. Like they had to grieve just as much as like I had to grieve. But like the way they handled the grieving was a good way of grieving, of like they didn't make anything public and whatnot, which they could have, and that would have been, you know, an eye for an eye, which is fine and stuff. And but they didn't do that because they're a lot more mature and a good of a person, and I was not. I was the one who was like not handling things appropriately and was treating them with like very hateful words, like publicly and even just personally to them, of just like not acting like treating them like not treating them the way that they needed to be treated, like not being, they didn't deserve to be treated like that. And I've been really upset about this for quite a while, and I just haven't known how to really like express that and like say it, of like you all, you know, like wanted to be there for me and whatnot because you thought that I was the victim or whatever, when really what it comes down to is like they were being victimized by having their self, like they were having, like they were being portrayed in such a disgusting light and whatnot by me, and like as if they were a monster and like as if they were doing something wrong. And I get really upset that that even happened, because they did not deserve that, and they only deserved like to, I guess like I thought that they made the decision really easy and like they would have left me like over anything sort of thing, like that they, like it was easy for them basically. And ultimately no, that's not the case. And like I know, because like I know them and whatnot, or at least I knew them and stuff like that, that's not the type of person that they were, like that it hurt them a lot. They didn't want to leave, and they didn't want to leave like this channel, they didn't want to leave me, they didn't want to like leave what uh because they were in love like I was in love and stuff like that, and they didn't want to, like nobody just like wants to end something like that, especially because like we were so close and we did have such an open relationship with each other, and like we were so like trusting of each other. And like it's sad that it came to what it did, because I ultimately was not healthy, and thankfully they got much healthier then like throughout the relationship they got very, very healthy, and like that healthiness made them see like that I was very unhealthy and not good for them and whatnot. So then they did the correct thing as a healthy person to stay healthy. They had to leave what was unhealthy and hurting their health, which was to stay at to stay with me, and allowed to um like express that to them, that like I see that it hurt them and I'm sorry that it hurt them, and I'm sorry that I very much was not a healthy person and did not treat them well and did not treat the breakup very well. It's kind of like that showed a lot of um, true colors to how unhealthy I was and whatnot, and what a bad person that I was internally and whatnot during that time of being in a relationship with them. And then it got just so much more disgusting after the breakup and whatnot, and that just shows my true colors, whereas it showed their true colors, that they are a good person by the way that they handled it, which was to, you know, like not do an eye for an eye and whatnot, and to just like go on and try to find their own way as a independent person and stuff like that. But they I wish that they knew like that I get really upset about it like every day, that it was handled that way, and it was handled very, very horribly. And I get where I wish that they knew that I don't want them seen that way, and I'm sorry that they got seen that way because it was really fucked up and wrong. And I just don't know what to do at this point, because like they don't at all want they haven't like wanted to have anything like even to acknowledge my existence or anything like that since everything, which I mean, like, okay, like you got treated like horribly and I was a complete monster. Well, like that's not a good word. It's just like I was not a great person and treated like I treated them very wrongly and poorly publicly and just and whatnot. And that's that's been like making me sad for many, many months, of that it could have been handled so much better, and like it wasn't handled very well at all. And that makes me really mad, that like why didn't that get handled the correct way, and like respect them and love them like I did with like as best as I tried during the relationship to treat them with respect and love and whatnot. Why did like it go that bad and stuff? And it just makes me really mad because I don't know like why it got that bad. And like I've tried really hard to like make myself see like my flaws and to like fix them and own up to and take responsibility for the bad things that were done, and not ever allow myself to get back to that point. And but it doesn't fix anything. Like it doesn't like change the fact that it happened, and we can't like go back in time, and like the past is the past. And so like trying to move on has been really difficult, just because like I know like it even if it like doesn't still like even if they seem like they're okay and like that they're doing better and whatnot, but there's still like that scar basically left behind. Can't fix that. Like I can't, and that's what kind of hurts is the fact that there's a scar between us and this wall that was built up between us that like can't be fixed and can't be down no matter how bad I feel and no matter how much I can like um fix myself and stuff like that. I can't like fix what I can't fix it and stuff. And because like it's not just about like me and whatnot. Like it's like with them too. And it makes me sad though that like that had to happen because like I know that we really had a lot of fun times and a lot of good memories and we had a lot of trust. And like I've never trusted somebody as much as like I trusted them. And I like saw them through their good and their really bad times and stuff like that too. And I just loved them and didn't want like them to ever hurt. And I was always really if they were hurt or doing things that were not the best for them. And I didn't handle stuff like that very well. Like I know that now, like things where if like things were just not that great for them, like if things were gonna like be bad for them or whatnot, I get really upset because I just wanted what was best for them. And I didn't handle that well though at all. And so it hurt them, which did basically the opposite of what like I wanted for them. Like that's the opposite of what I wanted for them. Like I didn't want them to hurt. That's kind of why I would get upset if they were hurt or if like something that they were doing could hurt them or not be good for them or like handle that at all correctly. And that hurt them a whole lot and it made things between us, as they put it, very toxic, and that I didn't respect them or treat them kindly, and like that I treated them very badly and cruelly. And like, yeah, I see that now and stuff, and I'm sad that I did not see that at the time correctly. Like, I knew at the time, like, this isn't going the way that I thought it would. This isn't going well. Like, why am I not handling this where it's correctly working? Like, the way that, like, in my mind, it was like, oh, well, if I, like, try to help things get better and whatnot, but why is it going bad? Like, why am I handling it as poorly as I am to where better is not happening, but good is not have like better is not happening, but really bad is happening and stuff. And I just like don't know like why that happened, like why I handled things so shitty. And like if I were to see how I was like if I were to be able to go back in time and watch myself and be like, the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why are you saying that? That I know what you're getting at and you think like this is helpful, but it's really not. It's actually really hurtful and belittling and very cruel and stuff like that. Like, I don't know why it was like that and whatnot. And that makes me really upset and really pissed because I can't go back in time and fix it. But like, I don't know how to move on really without like feeling guilty that all the good like that was there, and all the good times are basically like completely for nothing almost. Like, I know that you're not supposed to like feel guilty for what made you happy and stuff, even if like it ended really badly, but like it made you happy, and you shouldn't have to apologize for like the times that made you happy that you needed in those times and stuff. But like it is sad that like it just kind of like went for nothing almost. Like it's not for nothing because it did make them happy, and like we had good times and stuff, and that like makes me really happy that like we had those good times and that they smiled and stuff. And but it is sad that like those won't we can't have more times like that. And that really gets to me, is the fact like we're not ever allowed to try to like rekindle, like not like rekindle like getting back together or anything, but just like rekindle like and establish that yeah, we had something, and not all of it was bad. Like not all of it was horrible, but like damn, I fucked it up. Like I really fucked it up. I fucked up massively. And that really has been agitating me, like where I've cried a lot, and but like the thing is that now I'm finding is like tears aren't gonna fix anything. Like nothing can fix it. Like absolutely nothing can fix anything that already happened and is already done and is going to remain broken. Like nothing can fix it. It's beyond repair. So crying about it isn't really worth it. But yet it still really hurts because I wish it hadn't have been destroyed. And it's like basically like we started taking our relationship, like we had our foundation and we had our house, but then it like we kind of started taking it like throughout fights and stuff like that throughout the relationship. It just kind of was like taking bricks out of the wall, and like we were only left with our foundation but no walls anymore. And then like then they were like, I can't be in a place where it's just gonna be we've got nothing really left. We got our foundation, but we really don't have anything left. And then what I ended up doing very incorrectly was just exploding the foundation, like blowing it up, and then making false accusations of like that, oh well, it's all their fault and like they set the flame and blah blah blah, when it was me, and it's not correct that they ever got blamed for it and stuff. But I get upset and pissed that like I can't just go back in time and handle it the way that it should have been handled, with respect and love and like dignity. But just really like I don't know. I've been like pondering if I should say anything like publicly, but I'm like, you already said so much publicly that why not say the truth publicly? Like why not actually put out the truth instead of a bunch of like lies and stuff publicly? Like it would be wrong to not speak and say the truth and express the truth, and nobody has to believe an apology from somebody who fucked up this badly or whatnot. But it's like the truth is better than upholding like as if I was a only bad person, or no, that they were only the bad person, but that I was okay and whatnot. Like I needed to like get the truth out there publicly and like say that, you know, they did not leave easily. Like, it took a lot of pain and heartache for them to leave because they were in love, and it's wrong that it was brought out like as if they were just not, and that it was easy for them and stuff like that. And then it was also extremely wrong that they got harassed so much and had, you know, all sorts of just bullshit brought upon them to where they couldn't even grieve healthy with. It was like a, well, it's helping them grieve, but it's helping them like really not even feel bad that everything's over. And like, it did in such a wrong way. I was like, I don't even understand it. It's like, so are you really trying to like help them just get over this grief really quickly by making them like not feel bad, but be like, oh, well, see, he's an evil person, and I'm correct, and I feel better about this decision and whatnot, because that's kind of what it came down to. But like, I don't know like why it got that bad and like why it had to be the way. And like, it really makes me sad. Like, it really does, because I'm sad for them. I'm sad that they had to hurt, and that they got treated so terribly, and without the respect and love that they deserve. Like, they deserve nothing but respect, love, and kindness and support. And they didn't get that at all. They got the complete opposite. And it's good though that like they did have people there for them who saw how fucked up I was treating them, and they left me to be with them, to protect them and just hold them and care for them through it. And I'm very glad that they had that, because they only deserved to be treated well while they were being treated like utter shit by somebody who they loved and had trusted. And then all of that was completely shattered by me and whatnot, because they loved me and they trusted me, and then I took that and completely was like, turn that around to, well, you basically making them feel like that was a stupid decision to have ever loved and trusted me and stuff. And that really makes me upset, that like that should not have been at all how things were handled. And it just makes me really sad. But like, I know I can't go back in time, and I know that like what's done is done, and like, I can feel bad all I want, and I can hate myself all I want for it, and I do. Like, I really just like, I can't fix it. And I just don't know like what I could even. I don't know. I just like, I've never had somebody that I actually like was in love with ever, until like them. Like, I'd always had like, you know, friends, and I'd had family and whatnot that I love, but I never had somebody like that I felt that way for, like I did with them. And I guess like I didn't know how to handle that or treat that well. And like anytime that I had been hurt and stuff, it was from people who really, really didn't love me and really wanted like to do me like injustice and whatnot. And so like that's all I kind of like knew. But like I'm very pissed off at myself for handling things the way I did, because I'm like, this is the first and only human who ever actually loved me, and it was hard for them to hurt me by leaving me and whatnot. I've never had that. And like anytime that I'd even left people and whatnot, they didn't really care, and that they just like I meant really not anything to them. And so like then I would leave them, and like they just kind of like they weren't sorry for anything that they had done. And so I just kind of like had to like, it didn't hurt so bad because I kind of like came to terms like right when I left that, you know, we really didn't have anything that great between us or anything. Like we just kind of, our paths had crossed and we had some time together, but we never like had, obviously I feel like I had a little more care for them and stuff, but then like once I had to leave because I realized like it was not a good thing for me, they like broadcasted me as a bad person and like an evil person and stuff like that. And it's one of those of, I was like, okay, well, I did leave you and I did like, you know, hurt you, you know, by leaving you. So like, yeah, you have a right to feel like I'm an asshole who like left. But then like really quickly, they just kind of were like, they hated my guts and they didn't ever want me back because like they hated my guts and I was this evil person for leaving them and stuff. And then I also had a lot of pent up upsets about them and whatnot that were truth and just like, but it didn't too much matter, sort of thing. Like it really didn't matter to me because it was like we really didn't have anything that special. Whereas like in this situation, like that's the first and only human being who I've like been actually in love with and wanted to have the rest of my life with and take care of them and, you know, help them to smile and whatnot. And like that's all I really wanted for them, was to just kind of make them really happy. And like I really ruined that by not knowing how to handle that, and then really ruined it by being a complete asshole and making up lies and like trying to make them look absolutely horrible and horrific and stuff, just to, I guess, try to make myself not like them or something, so that it would be easier that we were not together and stuff. But like ultimately it was all lies, and it was ultimately very fucked up and stupid and wrong to behave that way, because that's not who I am, and that's not like the type of things that I agree with or think is correct. Like, because like at the complete like end of it all, where it's just like me with alone with my feelings, and I know like the truth, and I know like the real stuff that had happened between us and like the real things and whatnot. I ultimately just like, I love them very, 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 very much, and I can't understand where the lies and the hate and the harassing aggression and stuff like that that came out. I have no clue like where that came from or like why it came from. And it was just a not good place of the part of grief where you play the blame game and you try to be, you try to break the heart of the one that broke you, which is fucked up and evil and wrong. And like, I know the truth, and I know we ultimately did have, and we ultimately did have a relationship that was to have been looked up to, like very much looked up to, and yet then it got turned into a complete mess, and that was my fault. And it's stupid that I tried to make it out as their fault, and I will never not hate that and regret that and feel a lot of animosity towards myself and disgust with myself for that. But I just don't know what to do anymore, because like, I know nothing can be fixed. I know absolutely, like, the damage is done and the damage is beyond repair. So I don't know what to do, and that makes me really, really upset, because like, I can feel bad all I want, but I can't, feeling bad doesn't fix it. And that's why I was like, I need to get at least out there public that like, I'm not somebody that's really like, what I did and what I said was not the good like things, and like, I was very wrong in that. And like, I feel like shit for it, but it's also one of those of, but I fucked up and I'm the bad like person for that. And like, I'm just, I wish that they knew that I don't hate them, and that I know the truth about them, and that's why I want to express the truth about them, is that they very much did their ultimate best with what they were handed with me, which was a very broken person who didn't know how to handle anything appropriately, and was learning and trying to get better, but was getting better in like not very healthy manners, because I couldn't figure out, like, I just didn't want to at that time really fix myself, and yet thought like, oh, I've got it all figured out, I'm good, I'm the I know what I'm doing, and I basically thought like, oh, it's everybody else who has like their problems, and like, let's work on those, and like, let's help those and whatnot. And then my problems, like, I'm allowed to, I thought like, you know, I can bitch about my problems, and I can be really upset about my problems, and I can like, you know, cry about them, but like, I don't need to fix myself, is kind of how it came down, of like, it was everybody who needed to fix themselves to make me feel better, which is ultimately not how that should have gone, and that's very incorrect and stupid way of thinking. And but like, that's how it kind of was like, I'd get upset and stuff over like little things, and I just kind of like think, well, those need to be fixed, I don't need to fix like how I react to them or how I feel about them or anything. Like, I just need to be okay. um I need myself to feel better, and people need to make me feel better, sort of thing. Whereas, but then if somebody else was like hurting and complaining or anything like that, like, I would then like in turn like tell them like, oh, well, here's how like you need to fix you, and like fix like how you handle it and whatnot, when I wasn't getting the same advice from anybody. And then like, I wasn't wanting that type of advice at the time or whatnot, but I wasn't like getting that type of advice, and I probably wouldn't have taken that advice even if I had been given that type of advice. Like, if I had been given the same advice that I was dishing out, then I probably would have been like, that's good advice, but then not actually like gone along with it. Whereas like, they went along with it, like they like would listen to my advice, and they would try, because like, they're good people, and they they wanted to not have like the world cater to them and whatnot. So yet I was kind of, you know, acting like, hey, I want the world to basically cater for me and make me comfortable and happy and whatnot. And my relationship needs to cater to me and make me happy, sort of thing. And then if they needed something to like be catered to them or make them happy, it was like me turning around and being like, well, you need to make yourself happy and like cater to yourself and stuff, which is just like really fucked up. Like, take the advice that you're preaching. Like, take your own advice because you're being a hypocrite. And that's basically what I was a lot of the time. And that wasn't fair to them, and that wasn't fair to anybody else involved and whatnot. But like, it's been over a year, and I've been really upset and really like frustrated that, you know, it did get shattered as much as it did. And I know there's absolutely no fixing it, and I know that there's absolutely like no going back. But it's just like really upsetting. Like, I've kind of like wished that I could sleep until like I'm 80 years old and I can go find them in the nursing home or whatnot and just kind of like give them a hug and be like, I'm so sorry for how our young selves like ended up. Like, I'm so sorry that my young self treated you so badly and like you didn't deserve that, and like I never stopped loving you. Like, I really wish like I could just sleep until I'm super old, and then like the past is like way in the past, and like the hurt is kind of like subsided, and that I could just kind of like sit there with them and be like, hey, like our our young selves and my young self really fucked up, and I'm so sorry. And if I could go back in time, none of that would have ever happened to you. But like, it's now part of your life story, and I kind of want to know, like, now that you're in your 80s, like, I hope that your life went really well, and I hope that you're happy and that you had a great, amazing life, because it's all I've ever wanted for you. And like, because that's ultimately what I really want for them, is like them to be happy forever and always. And it's upsetting that like I did not give them happy forever and always, like I really wanted to give them and like they deserved from me and whatnot. But they also deserve that for themselves, from themselves, is happy forever and always. And I just really hope that they can like I hope that one day we can like just kind of set everything and see each other as human, who like, yeah, I'm a fucked up human, but like I'm a fucked up human who feels bad for being a fucked up human and very much is trying so hard to take responsibility and fix things with myself to not be this fucked up human and to be so much better and whatnot to myself and others. And it just, but it's one of those of like, I kind of like, I'm not thankful for how I handled the breakup, like lying and making things private, like public and everything like that. But like, I am sometimes very happy that we broke up. And the only reason I'm happy that we broke up is actually kind of selfish. Like, I wish it had just been like a breakup where we both kind of were just like, hey, we're just not completely correct together, and we're just kind of like having too many issues together because we're both really broken people, and I'm extremely broken, so I'm not handling things correctly in this relationship, so we're just not the healthiest with each other and whatnot. But I wish that I could have like, you know, done that. But it's also one of those of, I am thankful for the breakup only because, and it's selfish, but like I'm very thankful for the breakup because it did force me finally, by losing something that was that important to me, like somebody who meant the absolute world to me, and then to lose that, like it was a huge wake up call to put the mirror in front of my face and be like, look, you really got to fix yourself because you are that fucked up. And instead of punching the mirror and saying like, no, I'm not fucked up, it's everybody else, which at first was what was done, which is just not okay. Like, that's not the truth. But like now I've, been able to face the mirror and be like, look, you fucked up and you need to fix yourself and you need to get right. But it literally took that. And that's why I'm thankful that we broke up, was because it finally got me to the point of finally facing my demons and facing things that were making me just ultimately a not good person and making me not the best person to date because I didn't know how to treat myself correctly. So how was I supposed to treat somebody else correctly? And I didn't think of that. I really didn't. I really thought like, oh no, I'm treating them well. I'm treating them better than I treat myself. But now I look back and I'm like, yeah, you treated them better than yourself, but it still wasn't good. You were treating yourself absolutely terribly, of killing yourself, and you treated them absolutely horrible, just not killing them, sort of thing. Like, you treated them still badly. And yes, it was better than how you treated yourself, but it wasn't good. And so now, like, I've had to come to terms with all of that because, like, yeah, I am very, very, very suicidal and always have been. Um, and, like, I don't know what it's like to handle things that really upset me and tear me apart. I don't want to be alive for them. Like, I don't want any more pain, and I don't want any more like upsets and losses and stuff. So selfishly, I want it to like be over so that I don't have to hurt anymore and be with myself anymore, because I ultimately despise being with myself and having to deal with myself, and I always have. Like, when I was 8, like, I could not tolerate being with myself. Like, I could not tolerate being me, and I could not tolerate the disgusting person that I am, and like knowing that I have to live as this horrible person. So at 8, I hung myself, and now like I've lost count at this point of how many things that I've done to that came very close to killing me and stuff like that. Like, I've lost count at this point, and like going to the hospital and going through all the treatments and whatnot at hospitals and stuff, and like trying to not be suicidal and trying to like myself and trying to be okay with being in my head. And I don't think anybody really understands those. And I know that like the only times, and this isn't to like make anybody feel guilty or anything like that, but like there were like thinking about like being with them for the rest of my life and like the love that we had and stuff like that, that I was like, I'm happy to be alive if like, because I have this moment, like this moment with them. Like, there were so many times where I'd be like with them and they'd be smiling, or like we'd be holding each other or something like that, like something very sweet was happening, and like I would just like be like, wow, I'm so glad that I am alive for this. I'm glad that I I tolerated myself and lived with myself this long to get to this amazing moment, to be with them in this great moment. And like now I've just tried to find out like how to get back to that without them. Like having moments where I'm like, wow, I'm so happy I'm alive for this moment. And I haven't found a single moment like that since. I haven't, like, it's only been like a year or so, like over a year. I know it's been over a year, but like it's been over a year since the breakup, and it's one of those of like I haven't had a single time yet where it's like I've been happy, like, oh, this was worth living for. Oh, this was good. Like, I'm so thankful I lived to get to this point and whatnot. I haven't had that, and that's what's really making me upset is everything is just kind of mundane, and then like I keep having so much like very upsetting things happen lately that like I did not want to be alive for. It's stuff like something recently happened that I was like, I thought I'd be dead by now because I knew this would happen and I never wanted to be alive for it, and I'm having to deal with it and I don't want to. And it upsets me very much because I did not want to be alive for this. I always told myself, like, obviously this day is going to come, but I'm not going to be alive for this day. Like, I know the day's coming because it's inevitable, but I won't have to handle it. I'll be dead. I'm not handling that. Well, I had to live through it, and I don't like that I have to live through it because I don't want to. It upsets me. It pisses me off. I don't want to be alive for this. And I just don't know how to. I hate myself a lot because I hurt the only person who made me feel like life is worth living for, and I hurt them so bad. Why I haven't is because like I don't want to. I don't want to like make anybody upset. Like I don't want other people to be upset. I don't want to hurt anybody. It's just like I don't see why anybody would actually be hurt because like this is just how since I was 8 years old how I've always been, and that's got to be annoying for everybody and make people just really want me to just do it so they finally can like have at least it over of constantly having it and whatnot because I'm annoyed with it. I just don't want any more bad to happen. Like, I'm already going through the worst things of losing the person I love the most and then having to grieve a death that I was like, I'm not going to be alive for that death. I know the death is going to happen, but I'm not going to be alive for it because I know I won't be able to handle it because I can't handle. And I have to. It's just like, I don't see it's selfish because, like, I, after everything that I've done, I do deserve to hurt and I do deserve to suffer. So it's one of those of I just like, but I know that that's also wrong way of thinking. But it's just like, I feel like nothing I think is correct at this point, and I just don't like know how to feel. I just I I feel like all I've done is hurt people, made people depressed, made people sad a lot, made myself hurt, make myself sad, be hurt, be made to be sad, and then be told to grin and bear it and live through it because people would, for some reason, be sad without me and stuff like that, when I'm like, I don't bring a lot of good to the table. Like, I've tried, but it's also one of those of, but even if I bring a lot of good to the table for people, I don't bring good to myself. And so it's like, yeah, I selfishly, like, sometimes I do feel of like I gave and gave and gave of myself, but I'm left with nothing, even though I know people give and give and give to me, but I'm an idiot, and anytime I get given anything, I give it back to, like, I pay it forward so that I'm still left with nothing because I don't deserve anything. And so then, like, but that makes no sense because then it's like, oh, but you hurt people whenever you're left with where they take something away from you in a way where you didn't give it, then you get mad and then you like get angry that they took it and whatnot, and then you behave badly. Just, I don't understand myself. I don't at this point like know if I'll ever understand myself or like myself completely or be able to handle myself completely. It's like I don't know what else there is to come, like, because I'm already seen by people that I absolutely love, like completely love, and I've already seen that they ultimately want me dead. They like hate me, and that I'm better off dead. And I feel better off dead, and I would love to give them what they want. And I get really upset because I don't know why, like, every single attempt I have made, I end up just waking up puking or like going to the hospital, like where I'm taken by ambulance and whatnot. Like, nothing's been working. And it's one of those of, then it looks like an attention-seeking whore. And I keep on just being like, oh, I just look like an attention-seeking whore. Cool. Like, I don't know at this point anymore. I'm just like, great. Nothing I do is correct. Because I it's like all I wanted in like was to make other people happy and to try to like just love and like be there for people. Like my entire life I was like, I think the only reason why I was born is for other people, like to love other people and take care of other people and see people for just, we're all human, and even the most fucked up humans still are human and have a voice and have a right to hurt and have a right to have second chances. And I was like, I'm only here for other people, but I'm not here to love myself. As much as I can try, I have not been able to get to that point. I just can't. And it's not like I want to hate myself, and it's not an intention like, oh, pity me, I can't love myself, or anything like that. I don't want pity. I don't want sympathy. I don't want like any of that. It's just that's what keeps happening, and I'm like, that's not what I want. Like that, if that's all I wanted, then everything would be fixed already, right? Because that's all I seem to get. And I'm like, that's really not at all what I want. I'm hurt. Like, I don't want to hurt with myself anymore. But nothing's been working. Like, nothing's made me, like, feel better because, like, everything I touch breaks. Everything that I try my best to love and care for blows up in my face. And it's because I'm a fuck up. Like, it's me. I ruin every single thing that I put my hands on. And it makes me not want to, like, do anything anymore. Like, it makes me not want to try anymore because it's like, oh, great, well, don't get too close because I feel like for some reason I'm gonna ruin it. But I just want people to know, like, that I recognize it was me. I'm the fucked up one. I'm the one who ruins everything, and that people really, 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 really try to love me and have really done the ultimate best, like, that they possibly can for me. And they've tried to show me as much love as possible. I even had, like, where I reread, and since it's private, I'm not gonna, like, share what's inside of it, but, like, there's a card that was wrote for me, and it's, like, very sweet, and a lot of, like, how very, like, one of the lines was like, I will always enjoy just being with you, proud to see you strong enough to wake. Understand that you have dark and believe in you to come out of it. Like, that's just a little snippet of, like, all the stuff in there, and it's like, people really try. People, like, really, really have tried to see that I try my hardest to get better, and I try my hardest to like myself and to get out of the dark that is my own thoughts about myself. And about my life and whatnot, and they really try to be there for me. And then it's just constant and constant and constant, like where I still can't like myself. It's like, yeah, everybody tries very hard to support me and encourage me, and it finally becomes way too much for them to handle. And it's not healthy for them to be with somebody like me who can't get happy enough, like can't actually just like take care of themselves and be okay with being alive and whatnot. And it's not fair to them either that they were in a relationship where like they'd be very, 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 very amazing and loving and so caring and trying their best to like make me happy with life and just doing the best work ever. And it wasn't fair to them that then they'd have to deal with me being like, life sucks, I wish I were dead, I hate everything, when it's like, so you hate me? Like, you say you love me and you say that, you want to be with me forever, but then you turn around and say you hate life and that you wish you were dead. And that's what they had to deal with me. That's all I did was constant making them feel like they were not good enough, but then telling them, oh, you're great, I love you, and I want to spend the rest of my life with you, except I wish my life were only like 3 seconds long. And that's not fair to them. That's not good to them. That's not, and so like but I couldn't like get out of that. I couldn't get out of that like self-hatred, even as much as I tried. I couldn't get out of that. And so like the good thing that's come out of the breakup is that I've been having to try to face that and like get to where I'm happy to be alive. But it's kind of like it's a little too late now because like everything I was happy to be alive for is gone now. Like everything that I was staying alive for is gone. But it's like that doesn't make any, that sounds hypocritical and stupid because yes, those were the things that I was staying alive for, but I wanted to die before I saw them end. So I still hated my life and wanted to die so that I didn't have to see them end. Because I knew things were going to end eventually, sort of thing, like relationship and lives. Like I knew death would happen, and I also know like relationships would end and whatnot. And I was like, if I finally had things that just I loved and made me love life, and I was like, okay, can I die happy? Like, I still hate my life and I want myself gone and I don't want to deal with myself. But, like, this was the perfect opportunity to finally go because, like, all of this and I can, like, have that at least good things in my heart because I still, though, ultimately could not with myself and being in my own head. Too. Like, at the age of 2 years old, I was already telling my parents that I wanted to die. That I hated life at the age of 2. And then whenever I was like 4, 4, yeah, like 4, I got baptized, which they were like, that's way too early in Baptist church. But I was like, no, no, I need to get baptized. I need to get baptized now. And they're like, it's really early. You're too young to understand, like, what you're asking for. And I had to go in front of the pastor and I had to go in front of a lot of like the head people of the church, like the deacons and whatnot, and like explain that no, I understand what baptism is. I understand, like, because like I know in Catholic church they baptize babies, but like in the Southern Baptist church they make it a giant deal and they want you to like really know what baptism is. So like having a little tiny kid who wasn't even in preschool say that they want to get baptized is a little weird. Um, so like but I kept on being like, no, I really want to get baptized, and I need to get baptized, and I knew my reason, and they finally agreed, and my reason was so that whenever I killed myself, I would definitely know I'd be going to heaven. Because I was scared of going to hell, but I also like did not want to be with myself. I did not want to be in my head. And so that was my plan, was I'm going to get baptized and then I can kill myself and go to heaven. And then after my suicide attempt at the age of 8, my mom took me to therapy and they were like, "Do you want to die?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Well, why do you want to die?" And I was like, "So that I can finally just like be okay and be in heaven and things will be better." And they're like, "Well, what's bad?" And I was like, "Me. I'm bad. I'm awful. I don't want to be with me." And they like didn't want to understand that. And they were just like, "Well, you're okay. Like you're only 8. Things will get better." And I was like, "I really don't think so, 'cause like I still will be with me." And they're like, "Oh, well, you'll learn to be okay with that." I don't know when that's supposed to happen. I've tried. I've really tried to be okay with myself and like myself, but like nobody knows what it's like to be in my head. Nobody knows what it's like to be with me, and it's one of those of like I've never been able to be that comfortable just like alone with myself. Because I'm the meanest human being on the planet to myself. No matter how hard I try to be really nice to myself and try to be good and like myself and love myself and take care of myself, it's just a joke at that point. Like, no, I can't like myself. I try really hard, but it just gets put right back in my face for it's stupid I even tried to like myself, because at the end of the day, I'm still mean to myself and I still hate myself no matter what I do. It's been like that since I was a little tiny kid. It was a joke to try to do anything good for myself, and it wasn't like anybody else knew like what I was going through. Like nobody had a clue that I was really trying to be good to myself and that it was being thrown in my face by myself. That was a joke, and it was stupid that I even tried to be nice to myself, because I think I'm a big idiot for even trying. And everybody else, like, everybody else in the entire world could treat me really, 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 really good and treat me really, 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 really nice and have no clue that, like, the second I try to treat me really nice, it's awful. Like, can't stand, I can't stand what it feels like. I just, I, to myself, I can't do anything right. Other people can say, like, you're doing the right thing, you're doing really great, blah, blah, but, like, And I can think like, yeah, I'm doing really well, and yeah, I'm taking care of myself, and I'm proud of myself for that. And wow, look, I did this really great for myself, and I was able to do this, and that's so great and wonderful. And then it gets thrown in my face by me. Nobody else throws it in my face. Nobody else like treats me badly about it. It's me. And nobody's understood that. Like I keep trying to like since I was 8, I've tried to explain it and nobody's understood. That like, yeah, that's great. Yeah, I know I did that incredible thing. Yeah, I'm proud of myself for doing that incredible thing. But I still hate myself. And it's stupid I even tried. And it's stupid I'm even proud of myself for that. It's like I wrote a book in 5th grade. Like I was trying to write a book to kind of explain like what the hell was going on. Of like I feel like I made the main character where it's like he's a really good person and stuff like that. He really tries, but then like he hurts himself a lot and he hurts everybody around him a lot, even though he didn't mean to, and then he's blamed for it and stuff when it's rightfully so because it was him who did it. But then he can't understand like why he would have even done that, and he hates himself for it. And yet nobody really understood like any of it. It's just I've tried really hard to get better, and I've tried really hard to be okay, and to be happy, and to be happy with myself, and to not hurt people that I love because I don't ever want to. I never mean to. It just always happens. And I don't even mean to be mean to myself, and I don't mean to hurt myself, and I don't mean to like do any of this. It's just like that's all that ever happens though. And like I wish everybody understood that. Like I don't know what's wrong with me. Except that I just can't maintain anything good because it makes me happy, but yet like anything that makes me happy is like the first thing that I have to get rid of because it interferes with me hating myself. But I don't want to hate myself. If it makes me happy, it makes me not want to die. So for some reason, because I that badly want to die, I have to get rid of it. And I hate that because that's not what I want. I don't want to be suicidal. I don't want to hate myself. But it always, 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 always comes back, no matter how happy a situation. I was in Disney World with the love of my life, and I'd seen Peter Pan, and I wanted to die. Like afterward, like right after, I was like, okay, I can finally get rid of myself. I smiled. That could be my last happy moments. That's awesome because this was a really good moment and put it all at peace and whatnot. And I can finally get rid of myself because I can't tolerate being with myself because after this happy moment, I know I'm gonna fuck something up and I'm a disgrace to myself. So I might as well now be done with myself so that I can't fuck up anymore. And it'll be a good, happy time and whatnot, and a good last moment. Because I can't stand knowing that, like, okay, that happy moment happened and that's great, but like right after this happy moment, I know myself too well to know I'm gonna fuck something up and I'm gonna make everything horrible. And I'm not gonna mean to, but it's gonna happen because I'm not big of an idiot and I'm not big of a fuck up because I just ruin everything I touch, including myself and including anything I love. Even if I try really, really, really hard to just be good and wonderful and happy, I'm not able to do that for long. And that's just, it all ends up for pain always will win over every happy, joyous thing. Like, a happy, joyous event can happen and it's wonderful and great, but the second, like, a painful thing happens, then nobody remembers the joyous, happy event. They only remember the one painful moment. Like, there can be 30 million happy things happen in my home that are life-changing, wonderful, happy, great moments, but then only the painful memories really last in the hearts. And the home is only remembered for, like, the upsetting times. It's like, even in downtown Oklahoma City, like, there's one part of downtown Oklahoma City where, like, nobody remembers all the amazing stories that came out of that building and all the life-changing events that happened in that story, or in that building and whatnot. Nobody remembers those stories and whatnot, and those aren't the things that really hold in the hearts of people. It's the painful thing that happened at that building that is always remembered, and pretty much only remembered, is that painful, horrific time. And there's no changing it. There's no, like, getting people to just remember only the good times, because the good times aren't going to be able to come back, but the broken is what stays. You're left with the damage forever, and you can try to build a monument, but it only monuments the sad moments and the sad time, because we can only keep the sad. We can't, like, rebuild the happy and bring back the happy and restore the happy. So we just have to, we can only remember the sad. And I hate that. I wish that, like, the happy and the good times could be what's always remained, even through all the heartache and stuff. But unfortunately, heartache wins. And I don't like that at all. I just don't know what to do anymore. Like, I'm not going to kill myself, because, like, I know right now, especially, that would be fucked up, because, like, my family is grieving enough Like, we're all grieving. I know that I don't stop grieving even for a second about this death. And so, like, my family is grieving too and dealing with that death. So, like, to put another one on them right now would be evil and awful to them because they really don't deserve that. To go through two in a row, to lose two kids in a row, that's not okay. Because, like, yeah, she was basically like my sibling and like their child in a way. So, like, that wouldn't be fair to them to like lose another kid, basically. That's how it would feel to them, as like another kid gone. But it's like, I can't fix anything. I can't make anybody feel better who I hurt. And it's not like a selfish of, I just don't want them to hurt because of me. It's a selfless of, I don't want them to hurt because I don't like them hurting. I want them to be okay because I love them. I never wanted them to hurt about anything because I love them. So I don't care if it's about me or anything else. I just don't want them to hurt. I want them to be okay. But I can't make them be okay. I can't like fix what I did. What's done is done, and they'll only remember the hurt because they're left with a scar, and they're only going to hold resentment for it and whatnot. And it's sad because I know like that their heart doesn't deserve that and whatnot, to hurt and hold resentment and whatnot, because they're a better person than that. But I can't fix it, and I can't change it, and I can't like, do anything. So I just get really mad at myself. I'm like trying. I've been trying. Like, I've been trying to find things that make me happy. I've been trying to find things that like can make me forget for a little while how upset and painful and things are. Like, and just focus on things that are happy. But like, it's really difficult whenever I get really happy about certain things, like things that make me happy, and then I get torn apart for the fact that that made me happy because I don't deserve to be happy. And I'm like, but so I'm supposed to just sit here and cry and cry and cry, but I can't like die right now or anything. But I'm just supposed to be miserable this entire time because I don't deserve a single happy moment without myself tearing me down and threatening me that if I dare do it again, that I'm a jerk because look what I did. Like, you don't deserve to be happy. Look what you did. You fucked up. You don't at all deserve a single happy moment. But it sucks because I'm just like, what am I supposed to do? Because all I do is cry and all I do is be upset. And I just don't know what I'm supposed to do at this point. Like, I just kind of do whatever is required of me. But then if nothing is required of me, I sleep and I cry. It just pisses me off. Like, I've done things so much trying to be happy and trying to not grieve and trying to keep busy and take care of myself, and it's always been this way. I get torn apart for doing it. Everything I do is incorrect in my own head. I tear myself apart, and I can't control it. I hate it. And it's like, I'm on meds, I'm on medication, and it's not stopping me from tearing myself apart and telling me I'm worthless and stupid and shouldn't exist. And that I ruin every single thing I touch. And that I deserve to be upset because I've upset so many people I love. Medication can't stop that. It's just like, I listen to music that makes me like sing along and I'm happy about it, and then the music gets turned off by me, and immediately like, you're an idiot, you can't even sing, you're stupid, why do you even bother? Like, oh, you're happy right now? Do you understand that so and so used to be happy, and then you would hurt them and make them not happy and stuff? Like, they'd just be enjoying their life, and then you decided to like make them feel bad and stuff, so then they couldn't be happy. So why the fuck are you now doing this? Like, you don't deserve that. You deserve exactly what you got. You deserve a taste of your own medicine. It's like, anything I try to do to make myself feel better is like a big mistake. Because yes, I ruined a lot of people's fun. And so, typically where I don't have fun to make up for all the times that I took fun away from other people. Like, the only thing that I try to really do is help other people to try in a way to, I know it can't make up for what I did to the people that I hurt because they're gone and they don't want anything to do with me, but I try to make other people super super happy and try to like do things for them. Like, I bought a dog recently for somebody because their dog died, really wanting another dog because they had got to their grieving point, but then they were like, I want another dog. So I gave them the money and said, whenever you're ready, because you say you're ready, but like, when you're actually ready, like, here, go get a dog. And like, I keep just trying to like make people happy and whatnot, to try stupid way to try to make up for all of the times that I made other people unhappy. But I mean, that's absolutely stupid and worthless of me, because like, it's not gonna I'll make up for anything done in the past. What's done in the past happened, and it's forever gonna stay permanent. Trying to like make up for it somehow. Like, I never saw the show. It's called like My Name Is Earl, and the guy does the same thing of like, he fucked up really bad, so he goes on a mission to like make it up to people, like where he like tries to fix his past with people by like doing a ton of good deeds for people and whatnot. And I'm like, that's kind of what I'm doing, except like it's stupid because it can't fix anything. Like I'm trying to like do my best for people because I care about people and I don't like other people being hurt. I don't like anybody being hurt. I always hurt people. It just drives me nuts because I'm like in the world of I don't want people hurt. I love people, and these people I love, and I never want to see anything bad happen to them. So then I hurt them, and like bad happens to them because of me, and I'm like, why do I screw up so much? Like they're the last person on the planet that I ever wanted to hurt, and they're the ones I hurt. Why? I hate it. And I hate myself for it because I don't understand it. And then I regret and I regret and I regret and I cry and I wish it never happened. And it's like, but why did it even happen to begin with? There's nothing on earth that I ever wanted, even for a hair of a second. I didn't want to hurt them. Like, not even an eyelash of a second did I want that to happen. And it happened anyway because of me. And I don't understand why. And I hate it. And I fight myself every day on it because I just can't figure out why that logic happened to even go through my brain, even if I didn't even believe my own logic. Like, why? I don't know. Just kind of like, I wish people understood that, like, there are bad people out there in the world who they intentionally hurt people for their own selfish desires and will never feel bad about it a day in their life because they're selfish and they believe it was the correct thing for them and they don't care if it hurts somebody else because it was something that they found justifiable of enough reason to hurt somebody. And those are the bad type of people. But then there are people who they hurt people and maybe in the moment they for some reason thought like, oh yeah, this is okay. This is fine. But then they'll regret it for the rest of their life because they're actually remorseful and actually wish that they had never done it. And not because it lost them anything or whatnot, it's just because they have a heart and they genuinely don't like to hurt people and whatnot, and they don't understand for the rest of their life why they ever even hurt somebody. It's kind of like I kind of like even looked at one of my family members that I saw like last weekend. I saw them and I'm like, if people in this family had not given them a second chance, which they didn't necessarily deserve the second chance at the time, but like if the family had not given them a second chance, like I don't know where they'd be. Whereas now, like, they're an incredible, amazing human being. And I'm like, that's because they were very, very remorseful and really changed their life for the better because they saw the error of their ways and felt really horrible even though whenever they first did the thing, they didn't care and they wanted to hurt people and they were very selfish. But then, like, they instantly, like, felt bad about it and they regretted it and felt horrible for it. And had they not been given a second chance and whatnot, then we wouldn't have the relationship that we do. And they, I don't really think, would have made the amazing choices that they have in life to be where they're very happy and they're doing great and phenomenal. And I just don't know. Like, I'm trying really hard to. I'm trying really hard to be okay and to just, like, fight my own head. And, like, I know I fucked up. I really know I fucked up. And I feel horrible about it, and for the rest of my life, will feel horrible about it. But, like, does that mean I'm really not allowed to have a single second of being happy without being made to feel, like, bad for being happy? And I keep having to fight my head on that. And it's like, I know that's selfish because, yeah, I don't deserve to be happy. And I don't deserve it because I took so much happiness away from people. But it's just like, I am miserable and I selfishly want some happy. Or it's just gonna be nonstop crying and me be a worthless piece of shit in bed, sobbing. I don't know. But I have to go feed my cat, though. Because it would be selfish to just stay on here and not feed my cat. So, sorry that I'm just, like, a big ball of mess sometimes, but, like, I really did want to apologize and, like, get the truth out there also that, you know, Kat is a really good person and deserves a lot of support and a lot of love, because the way that they were, you know, portrayed and whatnot was absolutely incorrect and just not good. That I shed that type of light on them and whatnot. Everybody, like, will see that, and you can hate me and whatnot, that's fine. I needed to get the truth out there and not just, like, have the lies, you know, staying there and whatnot, and me being on that, like, as if everything was, as if I was that great of a person and whatnot. Like, no, the truth needs to be out there. So I just needed that out.